Alright, let's begin anew, because we are putting this on the YouTubes and stuff like that. So, let me prepare. Okay, so let's take a look at this. Alright, it is Saturday, it is 8 PM Central European Time, 25th November of 2017, and I welcome you to Loot Picks number 7. Anyway, number 7, where I, Lewd, formerly known as Yaro, takes a look at some video gaming news from the past 7 days. Chiefly from Japanese games, but it's probably gonna be some other stuff too. So without further ado, let's take a look at the new first piece of news. I am sorry guys, this week my brain is on fritz. I've slept for like 4 hours. I've been watching Tekken from the midnight until 3 PM, then I took a nap, and here I am. I almost forgot about today's loot picks, so I'm not in the best states of minds, but should be alright. Anywho, we got a release date for Under Night in Birth XE latest, or late ST, or Unil ST, or Unilatest. I don't know. There's many ways how to pronounce this or call this thing. Either way, it's like the I think current arcade version of Under Night in Birth, and a lot of people have been asking for this because apparently Under Night has some really interesting, for example, has very interesting practice mode options, where you can practice a long combo from a certain point in the combo. You don't have to do the entire thing over and over and over. You can just pick like a part in the long chain, which is kind of unusual. I don't think I've ever heard about that at any other game. Either way, this date is for North America, but is the same date as for Europe. Yep. So this is like one of the anime fighting games, and you can easily see that as there's all these meters everywhere and 2D sprites. So it's pretty crazy. I personally never played any of these games because they're a little too advanced for me, and they also were kind of like before my time, before I took fighting games seriously. These games were hot, so they kind of missed me. Though I'm kind of interested in at least checking out what's going on with that training mode, because also the tutorial is supposed to be pretty interesting. I'm always on the lookout for new ideas how fighting games try to teach their mechanics, and not just their mechanics, but also concepts of fighting games. Those are the most important thing, like the fundamental abilities, fundamental ideas when it comes to fighting games. And fighting games do not teach you those things all that well. You have to look out for people on YouTube, people on Twitch, and in real life, the fighting game community, people who already are steeped in the culture and the knowledge. They can teach you, but the games themselves, they don't really teach you all that well. Now there's more fighting game news. I think it was in October 18th. There was this contest in somewhere in the Middle East. Yeah, the Middle East. The company Manga Productions, I don't know who those guys are, but they held a social media contest for designing a character for King of Fighters 14, and this design won the contest. I think it was by a woman artist, if I'm not mistaken. Her name is apparently Masmak. I don't know if that's the correct pronunciation. I will freely admit that I don't know anything about pronunciation of Arabic languages, but yeah, she looks pretty cool. I was kind of thinking she might be looking a little too crazy for King of Fighters, but then again, there's freaking Rugal and Kula and fucking K-Dash. They do pretty crazy stuff as well, so I guess this kind of fits. Kind of surprised they actually do intend to add this character to King of Fighters 14, because that game has been losing steam a lot, especially lately, with the recent article that was published, I think, by Oh man, I'm not even sure. I don't want to say the wrong internet website, so let's just not touch on that. Either way, there was like an article where the author talked about the game being like too difficult and people not really supporting it, and there's a reason for both of those things, certainly. Though people, especially King of Fighters fans, kind of misunderstood the point of the article and they got a little bit defensive, so it's a bit of a mess. Also, SNK announced that they are ready, or they actually want to make another King of Fighters game. And the King of Fighters 14 has been actually pretty successful for them, which is always a good thing to hear, you know, from a developer company. So it probably wasn't all that successful in the West, but King of Fighters has a huge following in China, so maybe that's where the bulk of the sales comes from. Either way, I'm interested to see what this looks like in the game. There's also a new stage, which is also cool. So, alright, I'm gonna check this out. Now, there's been a Street Fighter V Arcade Edition teaser trailer for the new mechanics. Now, people have been like, what's the word again? Shit. Contemplating? No. Theorizing? No. Man, today is very bad for words. Either way, people have been just thinking about what could be new for the Arcade Edition besides V-triggers, because, you know, we've seen some new attacks in some of these screenshots. And people were thinking additional V-skill, additional V-reversals as well, but that's actually not happening, it seems. At least not at launch of the Arcade Edition. But there is new stuff besides V-triggers. Now, we don't exactly know what it means because, you know, it's a teaser. And again, I thought this teaser was actually pretty interesting and it got me pretty excited. I gotta be honest. Because some of the new combo extenders, I want to see what that means. That sounds good, because the combos in Street Fighter V, everybody knows, are too simple, too short, just too straightforward. New mix-ups, I don't know what that means, because that can mean so many things, and there's already a pretty decent number of mix-ups. So, new abilities, yeah, I guess here's the Shadow Shuriken from fucking Naruto, fucking sweet. It goes back as well. Minot can use the V-trigger twice, and then she can cast all orbs, like control them even better than before. Now this triple somersault from Guile, let me see this again. Triple somersault from Guile? This is so awesome. Somersault, 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 somersault. God damn. And then this orbital fucking Shoryuken? Yeah, I thought it was pretty awesome. They showed nothing about Cammy though, so it's a bit unfortunate. Though I don't think we need to worry about that too much. Now, the bad thing that I just, you know, facepalm, like if I were to use Tekken notation, my facepalm was 1+2, which means left and right hand at the same time. This trailer was shown at the end of the Last Chance qualifier and the Red Bull, I think, Battlegrounds. There's always Proving Grounds and Battlegrounds, and I always mistake those things. I think it was Battlegrounds. Either way, at the end of this tournament, Street Fighter V, which Punk won, again, Punk is just on a goddamn roll. We're gonna get that later. So PlayStation Experience is December 9th and 10th. Yeah, I'm probably gonna make a whole video about like my picks for the Capcom Cup. I did not do that same thing for the Tekken Grand Finals. Maybe I should have, but well, maybe I'll take a look at this. Maybe look at the brackets once they're finalized. I think they're already finalized actually. All right, I think during this week we can take a look at that. I was gonna say though, they showed the trailer and I thought it was cool, and then I looked in the chat on stream and I was like, oh my god, really? Everybody's like, where's the Sagat trailer? Where's Sagat? Where's Sakura? Where's Sagat? Dude, no Sagat? What the fuck, Capcom? And it's just, come on guys. If if Capcom's gonna show the trailer at the event like Battlegrounds, it's not gonna be Sagat, okay? Maybe PlayStation Experience is gonna have Sagat, maybe. I don't know why people keep asking for him. I don't get it. You know? I understand he's a popular character, but it kinda spring up randomly. Like during this year, somewhere in the summer, someone was like, hey, what about Sagat? And then suddenly everybody got crazy. Everybody drank the Kool-Aid of Sagat and got crazy, you know? I don't get it. Either, I don't, it doesn't matter. Now, there have been some teasers people were catching. Like, when the Battlegrounds ended and Punk won, there was like confetti everywhere. And it was like white and pink confetti with some sakura-shaped, like blossoms confetti. And then the teaser for the Capcom Cup also had some petals flying everywhere. So if they're actually gonna reveal Sakura in the Capcom Cup, that'd be awesome. I'd be okay with that. I always say this, all fighting games need more girls, okay? There's not enough girls. There's always too many dudes. Always. Though it's maybe questionable with Sakura because it's like another shoujo character. We already have a couple and they don't want clone characters. So, I don't know. I mean, if they're gonna put another... Well, we have 3 shoujos actually. I forgot about Akuma. So there's gonna be a 4th shoujo character. And I'm like, well... They are all very distinct and different, so I guess it doesn't matter that much. We'll see what they do with Sakura. I'm always up for more female characters in fighting games. I'm totally okay with that. But I would also hope that she will not be the only thing they reveal at the Capcom Cup. They really need to do something extra, you know? It's just not enough to show one character trailer the way they've been doing them, because the trailers are kind of boring. They just show you the moves and that's it. Like if you look at Tekken, they have like this whole story intro cinematics with like unique dialogues that will probably not appear in the game. Then Injustice does like the whole interaction of the new characters, you know. That those are actual like real fucking trailers, right? Well, I guess we'll see. Alright, we've talked about this enough, I guess. Let's go for the new one. I don't know when or how did this get announced. I completely missed this, but the Blaze Blue crossover fighting game, it's got Gordo, Yukiko Amagi, and Azrael being added into the roster, and I'm pretty okay with this. I personally don't care about Azrael or Gordo, but people like Gordo a lot from what I've seen on the internet. Now, Yukiko Amagi is like when I first played Persona 4, I did not realize how good of a character she is, but with the second playthrough on the Persona 4 Golden on Vita, I think I started appreciating her way more. It kind of reminds me of the situation in Final Fantasy VIII when I first played Final Fantasy VIII the first 2 times when I was a kid. Sylphie was always my favorite girl, but now that I played Final Fantasy VIII later on, after all these years, I was like, hey, Quistis is kinda underappreciated. She's probably the most interesting girl in the whole cast. Interesting. So I always like this kind of thing. And her fighting style is also very unique because she's using the fan and fire. Also, she's wearing the pantyhose, so you know it. You know it. It's a good pick. It's a definitely good pick for a fighting game. I only messed with the Persona 4 Arena fighting game a little bit because I never actually owned it on my PS3, though I have played it on some events that I attended, like some anime cons and some offline fighting game events. So I always messed around with it a bit, and I really enjoyed it. I just, again, it's a lamentable fact that anime fighting games are not more popular. Like, fighting games already are not popular. Anime fighting games, even less so. Such a sadness. But again, I always like to see that this game is also on Switch. This is so cool. Fighting games on Switch have a huge potential. I'm not saying huge potential as far as like pro gaming goes, or you know, like esports, but it has a huge potential to actually make people realize, hey, this genre actually isn't that bad. It's pretty fun. if you like just give it a shot and try it. So PS4, Switch, and Steam. That's a nice multi-platform choice right here. I guess there's no Xbone, but the new Xbone came out, right? The Xbox One X. It was weird. Xbox One X has 3 X's in the name. What's going on there? I don't get it. It's just, I don't know, Xbone. I never understood what the hell is going on with that console series thing. I guess that's it for the fighting games for this week. Now, there's a new active time report set for November 29th, which is during next week. And this is probably gonna detail the final story expansion DLC that was originally slated, which is gonna star Ignis, and probably how he loses his eyesight during the events on the what was it called? The area? Oh man, I totally forgot what's it called there. Shit. The place where you fight the Leviathan and stuff. Man, I only played this like a couple months ago and I already forgot. Today is not a good day for remembering stuff. Either way, I'm looking forward to this because all of the DLCs feature really like a really different gameplay for your controllable character. So this is cool. And previously they have said that they want to expand the story even more beyond the 3 story packs and the multiplayer DLC. And there's a surprising update due out in December. And there may be even more news. But they probably should talk about a bit about the PC port, some specific information like when's it gonna come out and stuff. Because like right now it's early 2018. We don't know much beyond that. And yeah. Meta, you actually have One X? Xbox One X? Wow. Apparently it's pretty like a... From the people who did buy it, they're pretty satisfied. It's just for me, I don't really understand why would you get it at this point, because there's still no like if you already have PS4 or Switch or PC, I see very little reason to get an Xbox One X, you know. Unless, well, I don't know. It's just beyond me. But we'll see how it goes later on. So I'm pretty interested to see how they intend to expand the story, because I thought the story in 15 was alright, you know, nothing too crazy, like your regular JRPG pretty much. Though I really did like the final like third of the game, the intensity, the tone shift, and just everything was totally up my alley. That was awesome. So if they intend to do more of that, I'll be okay with that. Yeah, we'll see. That's not it for the Final Fantasy. Now, as you may have noticed, there was no hot loot pick for the Final Fantasy 12 news that was teased last week. And by that you can probably imagine the news were not as amazing. But, so there's 2 things they announced with this Zodiac Age announcement, which was supposedly having... We were supposed to have some happy news. Everybody was kind of expecting the PC port announcement, which did not happen. So that's interesting. Now, if you're still playing the game, or you haven't played the game yet, the first part is pretty cool because they added back the Sky Pirate's Den, which is like once you earn certain trophies, or you satisfy like certain conditions in the game, you get this like a Sky Pirate's Den remastered with the 2D sprites that have like a couple of frames of animation on them, which is pretty cute, you know. It's a pretty nice way to track your progress through like the more arcane of side content of the game. So that's interesting. I originally thought they didn't put it there because it would probably conflict with the trophies on your PSN or something, because there's like a system save, but somehow they probably found a way around it. So this is cool. But the other part of the announcement is more interesting. They added the Final Fantasy 12 Zodiac Age PS4 theme. So this is but the PS4 theme, and I'm okay with this. Now, I don't know if this is already released in the West, but this is out on the Japanese PlayStation Store network, PlayStation Network Store. That's it. So if you want to pick this theme up, like I did, you can do so if you have Japanese account. Making Japanese account on your PS4 is not a complicated process. If you look it up on Google's, you can do it in like a couple of minutes. It's not anything too crazy. And at that point, you will reach Japanese PSN, which is pretty cool because there are some PS4 themes that are not available in the Western ones. And also, there's like demos for some games that are not localized or they just appear there sooner than on the Western one. Obviously, it's all gonna be in Japanese, but you still get to play some stuff. Like, the last thing I played, I played Tokiden 2, the free trial mode, when I first got my PS4 last November. And that was a year ago, huh? I've had my PS4 for a year. That's interesting. Maybe I should look it up when exactly was the first day I played. Interesting. Anyway, so if you want this theme, it's cool because there's the Arid Village music, and it's got the Final Fantasy XII sound effects, which are beautiful. So, cool stuff. This was definitely the happy part of the news for me, because I'm done with Final Fantasy XII, and I don't expect to replay it anytime soon. Now, whoa, what is this? The Metal Max Xeno details new characters and their voice actors. There's also been some mechanics news, but I don't really want to like go deep into this because I'm pretty sure I will want to play this. So, you know, it's like with the trailers. I don't want to watch them. I want to find out what's going on when I actually play the games. But yeah, there's a new character. As you can see, this is the character design by Odanon, and I previously made a joke about it, that it's a very recognizable style, let's say. You may have an idea why. I don't recognize any of the voice actor names, though, for any of these characters, so... I like this mechanic dude, though. I think I might have heard Jin Oirama before, but I'm not sure. Either way, this looks like a low-budget, some sort of post-apocalyptic RPG with, like, vehicles and stuff. I'm pretty interested, you know? Like I always say, I don't need amazing graphics to be interested to play a JRPG because there's usually like tons of mechanics to learn and exploit and play around with. So I fully expect this to be the same case. And also there's the Odanon character design, so I mean, this is gonna be fun to play for sure, right? I mean, it's gotta be. Now, speaking of robots and vehicles, apparently there's some Super Robot Wars news coming on December 11th, which is in 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So there's probably going to be a new title. Now, what I'm interested in is if they will also announce either the Asian English release at the same time, or if there's going to be finally like a proper English, like Western localization. Because the last thing Bandai and Robot Wars sort of related thing that got released was Gundam Versus, and that did get a Western localized version. So kind of be okay with the Super Robot Wars finally making it to the West without having, without you having to import from like Taiwan or something like that for the English version. But obviously there's nothing more to be said here. More Super Robot Tyson is always good, so let's look forward to that. Oh yeah, Tokyo Xanadu EX Plus is launching in 2 weeks on December 8th. The PC version is out alongside the PS4 version, so they're coming out at the same time, huh? I did not know that. I figured the PS4 version is already out, but that's probably because I'm just mistaking the original release on the Vita, which is not the expanded release, it's just Tokyo Xanadu. So this, we've talked about this before. This is like it's like an Ys game, sort of, but it's from third person instead of like top down. So this is more similar to Ys 8, and it's like the modern day setting, urban, like urban legends going on around in the world, and some conspiracy theories. I think, yeah, there's multiple characters to be played. One of them is a Miko, so I'm gonna play this at some point. I also think this is not supposed to be like a full priced release, so maybe we're gonna look at this earlier than expected. I keep forgetting about this game because I'm excited for Ys 8, and then on December 12th, there's another release that I wanna take a look at. Yep. And Xanadu Next right now is on sale. It's another cool thing. But yeah, this is pretty much it. Apparently it's 40 plus hours of action RPG gameplay. I don't know what's going on with this, but there's a bunch of mini games. There's a freaking skateboarding half-pipe mini game. So I guess that's gonna be cool. I'm definitely interested in this. I've been interested in this for years because I think this came out originally like 2 years ago on the Vita in Japan. It took a while to localize, and now there's the expanded version, so obviously I decided to wait for the expanded version. Yeah, we're gonna play this. Romancing Saga 2 for PS Vita and other consoles launch in December in the West. So Square Enix is kind of planning on like rebooting and revitalizing their older stuff while also making new IPs, especially on the Switch. So I guess this is one part of this plan. Romancing Saga 2, man. Saga franchise is so... Well, I would like to say they're underrated and overlooked, but they're not exactly unknown. It's just... the games always had some really weird mechanics, and you either like really like them and go deep into them, or you're like, what the hell is this? I just want a turn-based RPG. What is this? And then you hate it, you know, because you misunderstand and you approach it like a different game, and it's over. It's over, man. Game over, man. So I'm kind of okay with them revitalizing this franchise, especially because I think it was this year or last year, I don't remember exactly, but there was a Scarlet Grace Saga game. I don't remember what it was called exactly. I think it was Scarlet Grace Saga. I think that was the name. It came out on the Vita, and that game looked pretty cool. It again had some really interesting mechanics going on for the battle, and also how the battle resolves. So I really wanted to see that game in English, but it never happened. And I'm not sure if it has been a year already or not, but I still kind of hold out hope for this to be a sign of good things. Maybe we will finally get to see also the Scarlet Grace. It had some problems on the Vita because, again, I feel like all the 3D games, especially when it comes to JRPGs, when they make a 3D JRPG game on the Vita, it always has some sort of fucking problem, and they just can't help themselves, and just it either has like loading times or frame rate issues, or there's something wrong with it. You know, it's a big sadness, but it is what it is. So what I'm kind of hoping for is Scarlet Grace, like a PC, PS4, Switch, you know, expanded release, or just, you know, like a port after this. I'd like to see that. Now I gotta talk about this, right? Gale Gun 2 has like a, I guess, localization announced. Not really a release date, but it is coming, and so are we. Suck your way to Pantsu Paradise. Yeah, I never played the first game, because usually when it comes to fan service games, I always gotta look for something a bit more sophisticated, you know, something that has like actual gameplay and mechanics going on for itself, or there's like the fan service being like a fresh take on the setting, which is true for like the Genkai Toki franchise, because they use the eroticism and all that stuff for like the setting, and not just like not just the titillation, but there's also like actually genuinely funny jokes and some other stuff that just really improves like an old idea. So when it comes to Genkai Toki, there's the Moya Chronicle, or Moya Chronicle in English as it's known. Right now it's on the PC as well. Originally it came out with the Vita. It did not have English localization, only from the Asian English territory. And that game, it's like a first-person tile-based, turn-based DRPG, you know, dungeon crawler. But because of the fan service, it was more interesting and actually funny, because you had your characters, and it was not necessarily you were not necessarily asked to like build the most powerful team you could, because there was 50 characters you could use and 5-man party members and parties. The question was, can you find your favorite waifus and make them work together? And you actually really could, because there was like this Moya synergy thing. every character had like 1 or 2 Maaya traits. So you could have like big boobs or bunny ears or cute butt or, you know, lolly, flat chest, stuff like this. And these synergies worked together or against each other. So one example I really liked, I always talked about this when I talk about this. When there's a big boob party member and there's also a lolly, when the big boob party member is below 40% HP, the lolly gets a damage boost. Because it's like, yeah man, eat shit, now I'm pissed. And stuff like this is just, you know, it just made the DRPG genre super fresh for me, and I played the game for like 150 hours, got the platinum trophy, and I had a blast. It was really fun. And the post-game dungeons were also really cool. So, you know, fan service really can freshen up old ideas, old genres. You know, I really believe so. I think it's pretty cool. And as far as this goes, it's just, you know, it's like a on-rails shooter, and it never looked interesting to me, you know, not really. But maybe I should give it a try at some point, because I do like stuff like shmups, you know, Danmaku. Though this is not exactly Danmaku, but I guess you could kind of think of it that way. I don't know. At least it's in 60 frames per second, which I notice here. Well, maybe we'll look at that at some point. I don't think it's banned on Twitch, so it could be funny. This is the kind of analysis you come to the stream? Yeah. Alright, so Hellblade. I want to cover this just because this is positive news for Hellblade, and I like Ninja Theory as a development company, so let's take a look at this. Hellblade sales top 500,000, and that's pretty cool because the game hasn't been out for that long. And this means, as far as I'm aware, this means this is a success for the company. 500,000 units sold in 3 months, which puts the project beyond break-even and into profit. Our prediction was to be at this point in 6 months from release. So they're ahead of their projected success, which is good, because, you know, when you hear that Dead Space sold 3 million copies and it's a failure, or Tomb Raider sold 4 million copies and it's deemed a failure, it's cool to see a company that says, hey, we did this and this, that's actually way better than we were expecting. That's like, wow, it seems like you worked with your budget and you were reasonable and you did what you could and not more, and you didn't expect crazy shit. Nice. It seems like you know what the hell you're doing, and I'm really happy about this. But the most interesting thing to me is that this came out on the PS4 and PC, and about half the sales were on PC. It's kind of interesting to me because this is digital only, so I'm wondering how much bigger of a success it would be on the PS4 if it had a physical release. But, you know, obviously physical release would be a huge budget constraint, so probably would not be as doable, at least for the base price of $30 instead of 60. But, you know, when it comes to these games, when it comes to multi-platform games, usually the console stuff is like 90% of sales, and then the rest is like on PC, like usually, right? So I'm glad to see that this is like a even ground. Cool stuff. I'm happy about this, and I really hope this game picks up some game awards that we looked at from the last week's nominees, because I think this game is doing something special in more ways than one. Not just as the game itself, but also as the business model, and also as like a self-published indie title. I think this is going to be a very important game in the years to come. At least I hope so, because, you know, I think there's a lesson to be learned here in more ways than one. Now, we talked about Boxarts before, right? We talked about shitty Boxarts. Now look at this. Fist of the North Star game by the Yakuza developers. Man. I was not expecting this game to be... when this game was first announced, I was like, what? Hokuto ga Gotoku? Fist of the Yakuza Star? I did not know I want this, but okay, I'm in. We got like this Sin City color scheme and just straight up artwork from the manga. We see the North Star. It's one of them anyway. I don't know which star of the Big Dipper it is, but pretty sure it's one of them. Either way, it is awesome, and I fully expect the Western box art, if it gets localized, to be some shitty ass CG 3D render of the main dude on some really abstract, weird ass colorful background, and it's gonna look like shit. Actually, we've seen this before, and I linked it in the comments here somewhere. This is the box art for the Fist of the North Star Musou game, and I fully expect the Hokuto Gotoku game to look exactly the same. It's gonna be some trash like this. You know, I don't get it. Whoever is like approving the Western box arts needs to be slapped around, because this shit is not okay, man. It's not okay, man. It's not okay. It is not okay. This reminds me of like the stupid Dark Souls Western box art. It's so trash as well, especially when you compare to the Japanese one. Alright, since we are on the topic of shitty box art, let's take a look at Dark Souls Japanese box art and the Western one. You will not believe the difference. It is crazy. Some of you guys may have seen it before, but you know, let's take a look at this. Because this is exactly everything that is wrong with the box arts is happening here. Everything that is wrong. Man, why is my Google not working? Well, I guess we'll let it load. Maybe it's gonna happen. Maybe not. Something's wrong with my internet, it seems. But I am on air, so whatever. This is another example of a great box art. 8 million CG, super deformed characters, and an abstract background, and the logo that you can't even see because there's so much shit on screen. Oh my god. Terrible. So let's fix our... Oh. Am I on stream? Everything's going down for me. No. Oh, we're back. Am I online? I'm online. Well, that's weird. The chat got lost, and then everything here got lost. All right, that was weird. There was some sort of a brain fart on my internet. Oh my god, I found the pictures. Jesus Christ. Jesus fucking Christ. Okay, let's take a look at this. This is the European box art. Okay, some abstract shit in the background, some silhouette, and it's like, what? And then you have the Japanese box art, which gives you exactly the mood and the setting of the game. You see the main guy, like the Elite Knight armor, which is like, you know, the default character from the trailers. You see the bonfire, you see the ruins, and you see it's hella dang. This is perfect. It's lonely, it's isolated. There's very little, like, there's some warmth in the game, like in the picture, but not too much. And it's hella dang. This is perfect. I rest my fucking case. This shit is unacceptable to me. Who is coming up with this shit? Anyway, let's take a look at something that's actually nice looking. We got some more informal clothes for Dynasty Warrior 9 characters. Yep, that's much better. Although again, it's a CG render, but that's usually how Koei Tecmo runs things. They really like their CG renders on a gray background. Well, yeah, I guess it's for you to see like the contrast of the character with the background. I think it's alright for the purpose. Chotai. This guy's pretty cool, yeah. Songken, my favorite Oyaji from Dynasty Warriors. I love this guy. This guy's awesome. This is the best dad of Dynasty Warriors. Oh yeah. Here we have the brothers, Guan Yu, Joffy, and well, there's Liu Bei. Shibasho and Wen Yang seem to have the same character model, same body at least. This is also one of my favorite dudes from Dynasty Warriors franchise. But you know what? They still haven't shown informal clothes for Sesai. I'm like, who do I have to service to finally have a render of Sesai in informal clothes? Do I really have to wait all the way until February when the game comes out? God damn it. Anyway, I'm okay with this. Man, Guan Yu has the most glorious beard. I'm still kind of waiting for better beard physics because I feel like they're still not that good, you know. Still leaves something to be desired. I guess we'll see. I did not know about PlayStation Awards. I don't know about you guys, but the 2017 PlayStation Awards will be streamed on YouTube, so I'm probably not gonna watch it. November 30th. Well, I guess that's this Thursday? It's an interesting day for... Oh, it's Japanese time. Oh, I see. So it's Sony Japan Asia making the awards. Alright. Which means... Oh, there is an English stream. Well, okay, I'm probably gonna check this out then. Alright. 5 o'clock, that's... What's that for me? That's gonna be... Whoa. It's 8 hours. 8 hours ahead. So it's gonna be 9 AM for me. Thursday. Okay, if I remember about this, maybe I'll check it out because I don't expect there to be like any crazy announcements or anything like that, but maybe there's gonna be some good recognition. I just want Neo to win stuff. You know, that's all I want. I just want Neo to win some awards. You know, I don't want just Persona 5 and Nier. You know, those will win everything because they're so popular. And Nier also has the best soundtrack. It does. But I want Neo to win something, you know. And if anybody's gonna recognize the strengths of Neo, it's probably gonna be the Asian awards. I would hope anyway. We'll see. I don't expect much from this though. Now, we talked about the Japanese PlayStation accounts before. If you have one on the PS4, you can download Yakuza Kiwami 2 demo version. These games are kind of dialogue driven, but there's also a huge emphasis on minigames and combat. So, if you're like on the fence for some reason, maybe you played the Yakuza on the PS2 and you're not sure about the remake, maybe you should check this out and see if it's big enough of an improvement for you to be interested. I have no reason to doubt this game at all. Save data from the demo cannot be transferred to full version. That's probably an important point to make. So that's the only caveat. But it's out. You can check it out. It's in Japan. Comes out in Japan in December 7th. It's interesting. Now we can talk about some mobage, that being a mobile game. A lot of people, when this first got announced, the DX2 Shin Megami Tensei Liberation mobile game with like your good old gacha elements and like this is the epitome of a mobile game. There's nothing too crazy going on here. So people were really pissed about this, obviously, because whoa, Shin Megami Tensei, they're milking it now in the mobile game too. Fucking Sega destroying Atlus properties and all that stuff. And now that it's like confirmed to be released worldwide, it seems like the comment section has been pretty mellow about this. Like, oh yeah, this looks kind of interesting. I'm probably gonna check this out and stuff. I don't know. I stopped being prejudiced against mobile games some time ago. I guess it was when I actually got an Android myself and I played some of the games. You have to probably go into this with certain expectations, and then you're probably fine. Let's take a look at the screenshots. So, Also, it's gonna have some augmented reality stuff going on. So this, I guess you could call this pretty much the Pokemon Go, except there's actual gameplay going on, because the turn-based combat is pretty much the same as the mainline SMTs. There's the press turn, turn-based system, and all that stuff. But make no mistake, this is definitely Sega milking SMT for SMT fanbase. It is, but does that mean it can be fun? I don't think so. I think the game could still be pretty interesting. You could like make your perfect team, you know, and just blast through the combat. And the press turn battle system is pretty cool just on its own. So as a mobile game for burst, you know, like short gameplay bursts, I think it's probably gonna be alright. Me personally, when it comes to SMT as a whole, I want to see something like really new. I want to see some big ass reboot. I want some new designs for like everything. I want a new person to take a look at the mythological creatures and redraw them anew, and maybe go for a more gritty, realistic style. But that's me. I talked about this before. I always say this, like, alright, let's take a look at this comparison that I always make. Maybe some of you guys are not exactly up to the knowledge that's being asked of you here. So let's take a look at this. Here, wait. Yeah, I guess this is a good example. Okay, maybe not. This looks kind of trash. Here we have Nue from, I think this is SMT3. Yeah, this menu seems like it's SMT3 and the text. So this is Nue, alright? It's like the monkey, tiger thing, demon from Japanese mythology. And now let's take a look at Nue, the same creature, but in Neo. Where's a good picture? That's small. Oh yeah, this is pretty big. Oh, okay, that's 4chan. It's probably not gonna happen then. This is a bit discolored, but okay, I guess this is gonna work. This is Nue in Neo. Do I need to say more? The idea here is that let's imagine another SMT Devil Summoner game with Raido Kuzunoha in the Meiji period, because you summon like the demons and they help you out with the investigations and the combat. Imagine if you're okay. Maybe you guys don't know who Raido Kuzunoha is. Raido Kuzunoha. This guy is super cool. He's like an investigator, police dude who has a sword and these vials from which he summons the demons and the gun in the Meiji period. Imagine this guy summoning this. Oh man. I wanna play this game. I wanna play this. Not this. I have seen enough of this. Alright? Let me see something cooler. Yeah. Yeah. Kuzunoha needs more games. I wanna see more. Anyway, guess let's take a. We got a couple more stuff to look at. So, Atelier Lydie and Suel goes gold. Adds Hagel, Boldness, Pamela, and Cornelia. So, I like the Atelier games. They're pretty chill, like Alchemist Simulator games, or JRPGs. Some of them have time management, some of them don't. Some people like them, some of them don't. I was pretty ready for the. I am ready for an Atelier game that has a mature protagonist, but that is probably not what Atelier games want to do at any point. So not only do we get a lolly main character, we get two lollies. So that's cool. I'm probably gonna skip this one. Yep, I'm probably gonna skip this one. But the positive thing here is that these characters, the Hagel, Pamela, and Cornelia, they're kind of like the They're kind of like the Mughals and Sid Highwind and what's the other name? I guess you could also bunch in Chocolina from the 13 trilogy. There's like a character. These are like the NPC characters that are like the shopping and smithing and stuff like that, and they show up in all the games. And they're not really the same character, but they're always there. And I'm especially happy about the inclusion of Hagel Boldness, because this guy is an interlingual pun. Not only is he boldness, but his name Hagel, in Japanese Hageru, is basically a verb for going bald, and Hage is bald hair or bald head. So this guy has a double interlingual pun. Awesome. And not only that, he has a mustache, and not only that, there's still more. This guy in Japanese is usually voiced by Fumiko Tachiki, which happens to be Gendo Ikari from Evangelion. And I did not know that. And when I first played the first Atelier game from the Arlen trilogy that I played was Totori on the PS3 in like 2010 or something, or 2011, something like that. Either way, I found this guy, I talked to him, and suddenly Gendo is talking to me, and he's being funny and goofy. I was like, what the hell is going on? This is awesome. And also, there's like this quest where you help him craft a wig. So this is what he ends up looking like. Yeah, this game is awesome. Like this franchise, Atelier franchise, it's pleasant, and it's cool. It's cool. I like it. Though I am ready for a mature protagonist, you know. Well, that's it for Hagel Boldness. Pamela and Cornelia. People like Cornelia a lot. I'm like, whatever. Whatever. You can't trump Hagel. Hagel Gendo Ikari Boldness. Now, most of you probably have heard about this already, because there was like the very next day after last week's loot picks. Yeah, I think so. So Valkyria Chronicles 4 has been announced for PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. There's no PC version, which is kind of weird, considering Valkyria Chronicles was ported to the PC. Though it is true that was only the first game. The other two games are on the PSP, and Valkyria Revolution is, I think, PS4 only. And a lot of people seem to hate Valkyria Revolution because it was not a strategy game. It was more like a Musou game, I guess, kinda. And there was a huge emphasis on the story as well. Now, the thing I don't like about this announcement is that it's another coming-of-age story. So we're gonna get kids as protagonists again. Though, I gotta give it up. Valkyria Chronicles, well, besides 2 and 3, they have been pretty good about, you know, their protagonists. They're not that dumb, I guess you could say. Just my problem with kids as protagonists always is that A, there's no beards, there's no facial hair to be seen on the main character, and the archetypes for the main characters are always the same, and it's very tropey, and it just makes the whole story, the whole overarching story, very predictable, and there's very little new things to be seen. As like for the character development, for the dialogues, and the main story, it's always like the same thing, but it in a different game. So it's like you probably are beginning to understand why I don't really expect much from video game stories. Anyway, the positive things, there are some positive things about this though. There's more announcements for this. As far as the characters go, Claude was being the main character. I'm like, oh, yeah, whatever. Yeah, she looks pretty much exactly the same as whatever the name was, the girl from the first game. She looks very similar. I'm like, well, I guess we're doing the same thing again. But hold on a minute. This guy, Raz, voiced by Kazuya Nakai. If you guys don't know this name, you may know him from One Piece as Zoro. You may know him from Samurai Champloo as Mugen. And he also voices Xiahou Dun, aka Kakoton, and Dianwei from Dynasty Warriors. So this guy has a very specific and distinct voice, and I like this guy a lot. This guy is gonna talk some trash, and he's gonna be a problem element in the party, and I can't wait to check him out. Though maybe it's a bit stereotypical that the guy who's gonna be loudmouthed and being a problematic kid is a Darkson, because these guys are like the black people of the Valkyria Chronicles world, or gypsies even. I think they're supposed to be like gypsies of Valkyria Chronicles. So that's kind of, you know, a bit stereotypical, but maybe they're gonna work with it. We'll see. But most importantly, look at this. Kai Shulen, voiced by Maaya Sakamoto, and she has the high color and the cat ear or bat ear hat. And so she's probably gonna be a sniper, judging by the attire, like a sort of a ghillie suit for the pre-World War II era. I think I'm gonna like this character. This is probably gonna be the best girl. I'm calling it now. Kai is probably gonna be the best girl of Valkyria Chronicles 4. I can imagine what would have to happen. Oh, I have not seen these screenshots before. So they're really going back to Valkyria Chronicles 1. Oh shit. Okay. They're also going back to the original art direction with the pencil sketches and all that stuff. Yeah, this is sweet. Okay. Also there's the Shiba Inu service dog, which is really awesome. I was not expecting that. Like, okay, the pork avian in the first game was pretty cute and interesting idea. A little piggy with wings, I like that. But you can't beat Shiba Inu. You can't beat Shiba Inu. That's not gonna happen, man. Look at this guy. And he has a hat. That's too strong. Alright, I'm in. I'm a bit disappointed that it's kids again, but you know, if it's gonna have Kazuya Nakai and Maaya Sakamoto, I guess I will allow it. And this dog. So this is awesome. But that's not all for the dogs. Once again, your regularly scheduled program of Buy Okami HD for PS4, Xbone, and PC, or PC. Buy this game, 12th of December. Buy this game. This game is beautiful, and it needs attention, and you have to buy it. It's gonna make you feel good about everything. When you restore the land from the corruption of Yamato no Orochi, you will cry tears because it's a beautiful... Oh wait, that's a boss. Let's not look at the boss. Let's not get spoiled on the boss. I mean, I've seen this before, but maybe you haven't, so there you go. This game will make you feel positive emotions. You will play the game and you will be like, wow, I love video games. I guarantee this. You will not be disappointed. There's so many beautiful things about this. So buy Okami HD. Thank you. Thank you very much. And that's it. I gotta say, I am tired as hell. I've been watching Tekken for 15 hours. From midnight until 3 PM. It's now 9 PM, so I took a nap for a couple hours. I'm glad it's over now. I'm gonna go back to sleep, I think. So thanks for watching. Let me guys know what you think about the stuff you've seen this week, maybe. And I'll get you guys next week. I'm probably gonna think about the Capcom Cup predictions. This could be an interesting thing to do, like a side thing. I'm gonna do it on stream and then I'm gonna post on YouTube. And I guess we'll see how many more weeks we will have to wait until we see informal close of Sesai from Dynasty Warriors 9. But until then, catch you guys later. Take care.